We got this big story from Wired.com. Wired says why Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp all went down today. The problem relates to something called BGP routing, and it took down every part of Facebook's business. So they say around 11:40 a.m. Eastern time, the domain name system records became unreachable. Facebook's outage appears to be caused by DNS. However, that's just a symptom of the problem, says Troy Mersch, Chief Research Officer of cyber threat intelligence company Bad Packets. The fundamental issue, he says, and other experts agree, is that Facebook has withdrawn the so-called Border Gateway Protocol route that contains the IP addresses of its DNS name servers. If DNS is the internet's phone book, BGP is its navigation system. It decides what route data takes as it travels the information superhighway. You can think of it like a game of telephone. But instead of people playing, it's smaller networks letting each other know how to reach them, says Angelique Medina, Director of Product Marketing at the network monitoring firm Cisco, Thousand Eyes. They announced this route to their neighbor, and their neighbor will propagate it out to their peers. It's a lot of jargon. They say Facebook has fallen off the internet's map. If you try to ping those IPs, the packets end up in a black hole. So why did this happen? Well, let me show you one other story real quick, because this is where I think the story actually becomes bigger. On the same day, at 4:27 p.m., Newsweek reports 1.5 billion Facebook users' personal information posted for sale after hack. Could these be related? I don't know. It seems like the DNS thing might have been an inside job.
Well, whatever the official story is, I don't believe it. And I don't think we should because where we're getting all the information from. I mean, we got the New York Times reporting that this was unlikely a hack. We have RT saying that on hacker forums, there were discussions about this, but we're still waiting for a lot of this to still settle because it's still just broke. It was 6 hours, 15 minutes. And we're getting reports from Bloomberg that Mark Zuckerberg lost $7 billion and actually went down on the list of world's richest people significantly because of this. All, of course, as there's a major Facebook whistleblower and major mainstream media stories attacking them for not censoring enough information. I think, even though I don't have any evidence for this, I think that there might be something else up here that's bigger that could be a sign or a signal against Facebook to step in line. That's my just personal opinion, and I don't have any evidence to back that up.
Is it kind of sad that Mark Zuckerberg losing $7 billion doesn't matter to him, probably?
Why would it?
Well,
Yeah.
it is kind of like a slippery slope kind of thing, though, because if this happens for 7 days straight, people are gone. Facebook's over.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be really good. I mean, last year when I was on the show, I kept talking about the destruction of mental health, especially with big tech social media. And even though this Facebook whistleblower is calling for big government to intervene, she does highlight a big problem, and that's the mental health crisis that is created by big tech social media that knowingly is hurting people, knowingly is creating algorithms that promote self-harm, suicide, depression. We look at our mental health as a country. It has gone down dramatically, and it will continue to go down, and it started to go down dramatically during the major usage of social media. So there's something to really talk about here. We need a discussion, and I think the discussion should be led by, is our life better without big tech social media?
Yes.
And that's coming from people that do this for a living. So
Right.
we genuinely care about this.
YouTube's a little bit different from Facebook, but still has a lot of the similar problems. And so what they've done is they've tried eliminating what they view as fringe, and therein lies the problem. The internet space got so big and so wide so quickly that there was this huge different like world of content and opinions and personalities. And then all of a sudden, the people at Facebook, Twitter, YouTube were like, hey, we got to rein this in because this is getting crazy. And then they decided, we're centrists. We're good, rational people. Marx was right. Now let's ban anybody who disagrees. And that's when they started going after like moderates, conservatives, people who tweeted learn to code.
Yeah, pretty much. I had 4 pages taken down by Facebook, and they weren't even that controversial. It was just about asking questions, and a lot of people probably that we know about had their Facebook page taken down. I think you had yours affected as well. But we have to understand that, you know, Facebook is a major company, and they have knowingly done psychological experiments trying to manipulate people's emotions through manipulating their newsfeed. So they've been doing this years ago, and I've been called a conspiracy theorist. Like, you're crazy. You're insane if you think that they they can make you depressed with your news feed. I'm like, they were literally doing the test with major universities out in the open, publicly bragging about it. So to tell me that they're standing idly by as we have this record amount of self-hurt, and again, you could go on and go on different tangents. I really want to talk about how self-harm and depression leads to more corporatism and more people filling the empty void by buying useless corporate crap, and how this could be a kind of bigger conspiracy here, but I don't want to go off on too much tangents. But I think we all know someone that has been very negatively affected by social media, either by being censored or just being affected by what is being thrown at them.
I just want to pull up this fact check real quick because you guys, Luke is completely correct. In the Atlantic reports everything we know about Facebook's secret mood manipulation experiment. They say for 1 week in 2012, data scientists skewed what almost 700,000 Facebook users saw when they logged into its service. Some people were shown content with a preponderance of happy and positive words. Some were shown content analyzed as sadder than average. And when the week was over, these manipulated users were more likely to post either especially positive or negative words themselves. Yeah. Facebook knows they're manipulating people. They know how to do it. They're doing it.
But they were experimenting on people without them even knowing that they were being experimented on. So this is the level of data. So let's just say there is a hack. If there is a hack, all of your private information, Facebook and big tech knows when you literally take a dump. They literally know the second that you have the most intimate moments in your existence, and they exploit that for corporate benefit. There's people who don't know that they're pregnant that are literally getting pregnancy ads because Facebook knows that they're pregnant before they are. So this is the level of information that they have on you, the data sets that they have on you. So let's just say hypothetically, we haven't had confirmations. We have some reporting that there might be some hacker leaks. If everyone's private information about when they take a dump, when they have it comes out, I mean, that's like some serious information. I wouldn't want people knowing when I take a dump.
But hold on a minute. I want you to imagine the utopia of this future, right? Imagine this. I'm wearing the smartwatch, okay? And, I'm looking at it. And what if all of a sudden it just chimed and a little voice popped up and said, "Hello, Timothy, it's time to poop." And I was like, hey, wait a minute. It is.
It is.
I didn't know that. And then Facebook was able to tell me when I should go to the bathroom. Or like Facebook can track your cycle for you.
Oh, how
everything.
Nice.
You don't, dude.
Didn't they have?
You don't even have to think.
They had an experiment years ago where people were in a holding space, whatever it was, and they told them that they had to wait a certain number of time for the experiment. But the experiment was actually the fact that they were waiting. Mm-hmm. And do you remember that? There's
a bunch like that.
Yeah, and the clock actually moved like 2 times faster than it normally would, or something.
Whoa.
And do you remember this?
No.
And at 1 o'clock, it was really like 11, but people were hungry because they thought it was 1 o'clock.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a real thing. And brain manipulation. The brain is so ridiculously powerful.
So hold on. Luke, you were mentioning that Instagram and Facebook make young women go insane, right? You know about this stuff, right?
I could tell you from a cultural perspective.
From the dating field.
What's
going on in the dating world? Yeah.
Just cultural, like my target audience is young women, right? Like young women and LGBT people that are sane, thank God. But the majority of people that have mental health problems are young women in general. So I think social media is going to affect them more than anybody else.
When you break down social media, too, you got to kind of define it, because there's video chat where 2 people are talking and it's being recorded. That's kind of cool. Then you have videos where it's just 1 person talking. That's a little more psychotic. Then you have text, which is incredibly, to think that you're communicating with someone by reading etchings on a wall that they put there is, to me, is insanity and drives people insane.
So here's an example. I tweeted today. People who claim to oppose vaccine mandates but then get vaccinated because they're scared of losing their job and money aren't actually opposing the mandates. And there's 2 ways you can interpret this. One is I'm saying they don't have negative feelings towards the mandates, or the other is they are not actively blocking it, right? So my point was, if I said I'm going to stop this bottle of water from hitting the floor and then I threw it on the floor, I'm doing the opposite of what I said I was going to do. I'm not actually trying to stop it from hitting the floor. But because it's text, this very short tweet, the context wasn't there. And so half the people think I'm saying quite literally that they don't actually dislike the mandates, right?
I retweeted Boyan Slat's ocean cleanup project. They're pulling trash out of the Pacific garbage patch. And it was basically, he was like, we're 1/60,000th of the way there. We've almost got all the trash, kind of wink, wink. But for real, 1/60,000th of the way there, 70 years off. And other people were seeing it, and the context to them was, we're doomed. Look at all that trash. We're doomed.
Yeah.
And it's,
Boylan Slot is actually a Bilderberg member. I confronted him at Bilderberg and did an interview with him on my channel. Very fascinating young man. But just to get to the larger topic here, our perceptions are shaped by literal tech overlords that decide how we feel. And when you control how someone could feel, when you control what information they see, and what they did was really dastardly because they took raw, independent information. They took journalists that were actually doing good work, censored them first. Then they went after all the little troublesome people and the troublesome political personalities, but they went after political people first that were a part of the culture. So we have to make that clear over people who hurt children. We can't even say that word here. There was a large number of people abusing that platform in very specific, horrible ways, but they went after culture. And when we look at people who are consuming the newsfeed, especially the violent content that they see, whether it's police officers beating someone up or BLM beating someone up or Antifa beating someone up, that has such a larger psychological effect that we really, truly need to discuss this because the ramifications are felt here. And when you have sinister multinational corporations, especially Facebook with their connections with intelligence agencies at the helm, plug-in buttons saying we could control and manipulate society this way or this way and make them feel this way, that's godlike power and godlike authority that needs to be put in check immediately.
I'm just sitting here as Luke's doing this huge anti-Facebook rant, and Ian's eyes are getting wider and wider. It's intense. What's happening? Look. One of the important things, it's we'll pull it back a little bit, is that young women on Instagram are being fed this fake reality with filters, with just Photoshop, and then they're like, it's like an escalation every day of trying to look more and more like some kind of cartoon character. And because they can't, they're getting depressed. There was a story I read about this young girl who's she posted a photo on Instagram and then looked at her watch and tracked how many likes she got in the first minute. And when she was down, she deleted it right away. Oh no, that was bad. What did I do? Oh geez, I'm not getting enough likes. That Facebook knows they're driving this into people's minds and making them go insane. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.